Alan is a person who I love to love.
Okay, okay.
Alan is such an amazing actor. Harry is a character who I think you might love to hate him, but like hold on to your, hold on and go on the journey with him because he's got a lot in store for you. But no, Alan is a person I love to love. It's a dream to work with him and to watch him create this character, which is so dynamic and he's one, he's the most incredible comedian, but he's got the heart, that you need in a character like that. It's a joy to work with him.
And I suppose, Meredith, people will look at the concept and say, comedy sci-fi. It's not really two
Uh-huh.
things you would clash together. Normally, sci-fi has serious storylines. It's sort of all action, all sort of gripping, and then sort of comedy is your TV sort of sitcom, your sort of family type show. But to merge sci-fi with comedy, it's an interesting concept by the creator, Chris Sheridan, and it seems to something that has paid off because, dare I say, the fan base has been huge so far in terms of Resident Alien and Comic Cons, and even it's showing on Netflix in terms of the three series. It seems to be one of the big sort of hit stories so far, and dare I say, it might be a bit of poetic genius to say to mix comedy with sci-fi, given the success of Resident Alien.
I think so. The kind of work that interests me is, where it's a genre bender where you can't pin it down. It has elements of lots of different types of creative mediums, a lot of different. It stimulates an audience to not, to not know exactly already what they're going to get. And what I love about our show is it is a brilliant, exciting sci-fi show, but it has a cast of people. I'm surrounded by this cast of people who are brilliant comedians, who are unbelievably funny, and it has so much heart. So to me, it's the kind that's the kind of work that I want to be making. Where absolutely, it was such a genius move. Chris Sheridan, our showrunner and our head writer and our captain, and the team of writers are so incredible at doing that, at giving an audience that loves a sci-fi story that great base, that they can just the elements of sci-fi that make it exciting and dynamic, and then they just weave so beautifully in the hilarious dialogue, the beautiful character development and the relationships where these are all people who you care about, who you get invested in. So yeah, I do think it's a pretty genius concept, and it feels like I'm biased because I work on the show, but I felt that way after I read the pilot. It just feels like a one in a million show. It's not like anything else.
Yeah, and I suppose, Meredith, you're on to season three so far in terms of Resident Alien, and dare I say, do you feel there's legs in this series in terms of, could we? I suppose with TV networks, we never know what is in the future, but do you feel a strong possibility that there's so many stories left to be told in this universe that we could maybe reach the a milestone in terms of maybe 5 or 6 seasons?
I do. I think what makes Chris and the other writers such geniuses and what makes all the actors so incredible is that they've written this, there's this town with this alien, right? And Alan is giving a virtuosic performance, and you love to watch him work, and you love all the people in the town. You get really invested in what's happening with them, and their interpersonal relationships are so full and dynamic that we all have a million thoughts about all the places where this could go. I 100% see this going 5 or 6 seasons because there's enough people in this town that have been so beautifully written and developed that you want to see what happens to them. And a lot of stuff happens. I'm just saying, you wonderful folks in Ireland have you got a lot ahead of you with season 2. So, you know, yes, I think we could go many seasons, many
And
seasons.
tell me about we know we have two outsiders that are coming to patients, the alien that inhabits Harry's body, and Sheriff Mike Thompson. But your own character, she's a resident of patients, Kate Hawthorne. Tell me, what's her role in this small little town, and how does
Yeah.
she fit in? And dare I say, does she know what's going on, or is she suspicious that maybe all may not be what it seems?
Well, I can't answer that last part. That's for
Okay.
you to watch and find out. But I'll say that, I love playing Kate. She is, Ben, who is the mayor in town, my husband, he grew up here. So he's part of this contingency of people who've known each other their whole lives, right? And then you have some people who are outsiders to this town and find their way in and are trying to find their place. And that includes Kate. Kate is not from this town. She moved here to support him coming back to be mayor of the town that he grew up in, but she doesn't have an extended network of her own here, and so she has to figure out how to how to survive, how to find joy. And what she's contending with, as you saw in season 1, is she's got a kid who's going through what she thinks is some really difficult behavioral stuff because he's saying that he's seeing aliens, and he's getting made fun of at school. And so she's trying to figure out how to take care of him, and dealing with the fact that living in this town and, you know, just being the wife of the mayor and somebody's mother isn't completely fulfilling for her, that she hasn't really found what it is yet, to have community in patients. So she's a bit of an outsider too. And, she can be a little rigid, which I love about her. She's got a real she likes things the way she likes them, which is a really good foil for her and Ben, played by my brilliant castmate Levi Feeler. We bounce well off each other, and we have great fights. But there's a lot of love in the Hawthorne family.
And tell me, as a cast, in terms of spending an awful lot of time shooting together, in terms of working on set and everything you've gone through, in terms of COVID and writers' strikes, and in terms of the stop start nature of this production, and being able to come out the other side of it and still be alive and kicking. Uh, has that maybe bonded you even closer, that all these adversities and hurdles that have been put in your way from the beginning, that you've been able to, dare I say, stay the course, and still be,
Mhm.
while so many series, dare I say, maybe only lasted for one season, given that everything was on, that you managed to persevere?
Yeah. From the moment that we started shooting the pilot, which by the way was in 2018, because that tells you we've only done 3 seasons, and we started in 2018. And that's because we lived through a global pandemic crisis and a strike. Um, but from the moment that we started shooting the pilot, it became very clear that there was a wonderful magical alchemy happening between all of the cast members and the writers and the production and crew. And it was just like, oh, this is a group of people that I want to spend years making work with. And I don't know if you know this, I don't know if Sarah told you, but Sarah and I have been best friends since undergrad. We've known each other forever. And then we both independently booked this show. And so, I started from a place of real joy and feeling like I'd won the lottery because I was working on a great script with a ton of actors who I really admired. And my best friend was on the show. So it was already this joyful experience. And then I got to know Alan and Corey and Levi and Alice and Liz and all of the wonderful, and Jenna and Chris, our showrunner. I got to become friends with all of the wonderful people who fill up our world. And I was like, I love these people personally and I admire them professionally. And working with them it helps me raise my own bar. I mean, in the beginning, I remember working on a scene with Alan during the pilot, and I come from a more. I mean, I have comedic chops, but I have a more dramatic background. That's right. I'm a classically trained actor. I went to grad school in New York. I'm a theater kid, so I never fancied myself a comedian. But I got thrown into the deep end with these scenes with these people who are seasoned veterans of comedy, and I just remember thinking, you've just got to keep your head above water. You've got to match them, just match their energy, go where they're going, stay with them. And over the years, I feel like they have helped me hone my craft. They've helped develop my comedic chops because I'm surrounded by these people who are so funny and fast on their feet and have such great ideas. Um, and I just like them all, to be honest. I like them all. I admire them and I like them. So it is a dream job. It's a joy to go to work. And we, as you said, we were very close to finishing our first season when we got shut down for COVID. We had a couple of weeks left to shoot. So we all had to go home and then come back, you know, much later to finish season 1 and, going through quarantines together and like learning how it works on the other side of COVID, how to be safe with each other and just all the danger of, all the people who died and just it was, it was it's a tumultuous time on our planet obviously. And when you get to go through that with people who you can count on, who you enjoy working with, I think it deepens the work. I think you can see in the quality of the show how deep and sincere our bond is as a cast.
Mm. And I suppose in terms of special effects and makeup and wardrobe, when you see the other side of they say the outer body experience in terms of aliens, in terms of Harry's own face, in terms of outside visitors that maybe pop up in patients, when you see to get these costumes and outfits, and obviously your character doesn't get to wear them, but when you get to see the prosp and the prosthetics up close, do you always bring you back to the time when you were a little girl growing up and going trick or treat for Halloween and saying, "Mammy, can
Oh,
I dress up as this or that for this Halloween? Can I put on this
you
costume?"
know, Alan's Alan is actually he is in that
Yeah,
his
I know it.
Harry, his alien costume. He is in that and it is up close. Our special effects and makeup team are insane. It's so beautiful the work they do up close. But it is always a surprise because, we see of course the stuff that I actually see on the set. I'm always like, wow, that is people being really good at their jobs, special effects and makeup being really good at their jobs. And then you see what the whole show looks like after it's been put together and created and the world that they're building with, like some of the spaceships and, all of the extra world that is being built in. And there is this like sense of wonder. And Alan, anytime Alan's in his hairy head and walking around, it always tickles me a lot. And he's had like a lot of like babies come visit him or like little kids visit, people's kids coming and wanting to be close to Harry on set. Yeah, it's pretty cool to see it like that. And I love that it's like in camera. There are things that are done that are live. It's not all added in post. There are things that are happening live, and I think that's really uh, that makes it feel really special and real.
And would that give you any sort of draw or feeling for the future, Meredith? Maybe throughout your career, sometime if you appeared in a different sort of sci-fi series as a guest appearance, Dawn, maybe an alien costume or an outfit, would that be something that would intrigue you? Or having to see
I
what Alan goes through on a daily basis, would you say, no, I'm not sorry, I'm grand having my own face on camera?
No, I am super interested and into sci-fi and fantasy. Um, and I think it would be really freeing and really interesting to inhabit a completely physical different body when you're working on a character like that. I've always thought it would be really cool to be in like Star Trek or, to get to be like Worf, like or a Klingon or like a Vulcan, just have to have something where you're so much of your character is really dictated by like the shape that you just walk into the room with. I would be super down for that. And I, especially if there's any like, butt kicking involved, because I really, as you saw in the end of season 1, like, Ben, Kate, do some real great fighting at the end of season 1. And I loved that. I sort of have always wanted to be a superhero. So, a sci-fi superhero situation with like, weird extra ears and eyes, and I'm here and prosthetics. I'm definitely here for it. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So there's a bit of a Cosmo girl in Meredith Garretson. And Meredith, for the final sort of 30 seconds or so, we might enlighten all our audience, all our listeners, why they should tune in to Resident Alien here in Ireland on our TV screens and maybe catch up for season 2 and then maybe have a joyful anticipation for season 3 that lays ahead.
Yes. I think the reason why you should tune into our show is because This is a small town with a bunch of people who you can instantly care about. You will laugh, you will cry, you will be surprised. The writing is spectacular. There's great visual effects. There's lots of dynamic interpersonal stuff going on. There's something really for everybody in the show. And the thing that makes it the most special is that it's truthful. That no matter, even though we're talking about aliens and we're talking about outer space and this person who isn't human, everyone in this world is so innately human, and their humanity is on display all the time, and that's what lets you care about these people. I still watch the show. I've watched it when it started running on Netflix. I watched it like 4 times through seasons 1 and 2, and I was blown away by how well developed all of these characters are, and you can kind of see yourself a little bit in everyone in town, and you care about all of them. Everyone's doing incredible virtuosic acting. You'll laugh till you cry, and you'll cry till you laugh. So it's there's nothing else like it on TV. So don't miss it.